Imagine this. You're living 100,000 years ago. No phones, no internet, no YouTube. And here's the biggest problem of all. No words. You're hungry. You want to tell your friend across the cave, but how? You grunt, you point, you make a face, and your friend just stares at you. So, who changed that? Who was the first person to say a real word? Who invented language? Today, we are going on a detective mission into one of the greatest mysteries in human history. And along the way, you will learn powerful English words that educated, intelligent people use every day. Let's go.
Here is something shocking. In 1866, the Linguistic Society of Paris, one of the most respected groups of language experts in the world, made an extraordinary decision. They banned, that means they completely prohibited, any discussion about the origin of language. Pause. Why? Because too many people were arguing, too many wild theories, too much fighting. No real answers. They said, we simply do not know, so let's not talk about it. Can you believe that? Scientists banned from discussing a topic because it was too mysterious. Origin, where something began, its starting point. Example, the origin of this English word comes from Latin. Prohibit, to officially stop or ban something. Example, smoking is prohibited in this building. So, did science ever come back to this question? Yes, but slowly, and the answers are not what you expect.
Let's back up a little. Way, way back. Here's something your biology teacher probably told you. Humans are animals. We evolved. We developed slowly over millions of years from earlier species. And here is the fascinating part. We are not the only animals that communicate. Bees do a special dance to tell other bees where flowers are. Dolphins use clicks and whistles with specific meanings. Chimpanzees, our closest relatives, can learn hundreds of hand signs. So, communication is not unique to humans, but language, true language, that is different. Communicate, to share information with others. Unique, one of a kind, existing nowhere else. Example, your fingerprint is unique, no one else has the same one. What makes human language unique is something called grammar, the rules that let us combine words in unlimited ways to express unlimited ideas. A bee can say, flowers are north, but a bee cannot say, I was thinking about flowers yesterday, and I wonder if next week, when the rain stops, we should probably fly north, unless it's a Tuesday. Only humans do that.
Now, here's where it gets really exciting. Scientists are like detectives. They can't travel back in time, but they look for clues, pieces of evidence left behind. One clue? Bones. Specifically, a tiny bone in your throat called the hyoid bone. This bone controls the movements of your tongue and mouth. Without it, you can't form complex sounds. In 1989, archaeologists, scientists who dig up ancient objects, found a hyoid bone from a Neanderthal who lived about 60,000 years ago, and it looked almost identical to yours. Evidence, facts or objects that help prove something is true. Identical, exactly the same.
This was huge. It suggested that Neanderthals, a cousin species of early humans, may have been physically capable of speech. But physical ability is not everything. You need something more important, a brain that wants to use language, a brain that needs to express ideas, emotions, stories, plans. And for that, we look somewhere else entirely.
Go to southern France. The year is 1994. 3 hikers discover a hidden cave. Inside, hundreds of paintings, horses, lions, rhinoceroses, painted on the walls with extraordinary detail and skill. This cave, called Chauvet Cave, is over 35,000 years old. Why does this matter for language? Because those paintings tell us something profound. The humans who made them could think symbolically. A symbol is something that represents something else. A word is a symbol. The word fire is not fire, it represents fire. Those paintings show us that the human brain had already made that leap. Symbolic, representing something else through signs or images. Example, the red heart is a symbolic way to show love. Profound, very deep, very meaningful, very important. Example, losing my grandfather taught me a profound lesson about life. Most linguists, language scientists, now believe that fully complex human language existed at least 50,000 to 100,000 years ago, possibly even earlier. But still, who was first? So, who invented language? Here is the honest answer from science. Nobody and everybody. Language wasn't invented the way someone invents a telephone or a car. There was no single genius who sat down and thought, let me create verbs and nouns today. Language evolved, slowly, organically, over tens of thousands of years, shaped by millions of people who needed to survive, to cooperate, to share knowledge, to tell stories, to fall in love, to warn each other of danger. Evolve, to develop gradually over a long period of time. Example, the Internet has evolved dramatically in the last 30 years. Cooperate, to work together toward a shared goal. Example, the 2 teams cooperated to finish the project faster. Language is the greatest collective invention in human history. It belongs to all of us. And right now, in this moment, you are using it. You know what I find most beautiful about all of this? Language didn't come from one person. It came from us, from humans needing each other. Every word you speak, in English or any other language, is a thread in that ancient, unbroken story. So keep speaking, keep learning, because every time you learn a new word, you're continuing the oldest tradition in human history. I'll see you in the next video.